Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you the best and most detailed 3-4-1-2 formation breakdown that you've ever seen. And this is going to be one of the best formations you've seen. We really like this formation, and this is for people who really like to play with attacking fullbacks especially. So as always, to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe, but most importantly hit the notifications bell so that you know exactly when new content is released. So as we said just now, one of the reasons why we like this formation so much is we love those sort of wing backs, those guys that are the left and the right midfielder. Now we use them as wing backs. We use them to get back in defensive shape. So we use them on comeback on defense to get in that sort of fullback role. So we're a back five and tough to break down when we're defending, but in an attacking role, we use them to get forwards and provide some really useful width for us, because width is really important in this FIFA. You need to have width in this game to be successful, and those guys getting up the field is really fun. So if you like playing with sort of a wing-back system, this is a great formation for you. Another thing that makes this formation really great is when you're actually in a good defensive shape, it is very, very hard to break this down. The two mids, the wing backs drop in and create a back five, and then in that midfield, it is very tough to get space in that midfield. So this is a really tough formation to break down as well. It can be got at in transitions. That's the only time you ever at risk in this formation, is in that sort of transition if you lose possession. Other than that, this formation is great. So moving on into our tactics that we decided for this 3-4-1-2 formation. And starting off with the defensive style, we chose balanced. As always in most of our formations, balanced is the best way to play. We very rarely find need to start with the formation on anything but balanced. It just gives you the best balanced attack and defense, which is what you need. You don't want to be too aggressive from the start and give away any silly chances or goals. Width, again, we've chose around about 50. Now, this is one of those formations that, because you don't have natural fullbacks, your width is not super important defensively, because when those wing backs drop in, you're a back five anyway. So you do kind of have good width when those guys drop back in. So 50 is a good way to play. And the depth, we settled on around about 60. We like to play on around about 70 normally when I'm using the 4-2-2 or some of the fullback formations. But because we don't have those wing backs, you are a little bit less secure defensively, as we said before, in transition. So we want to have 60 just so we have a little bit more security. It does mean you have to be a little bit slower in your build up just to allow your players to all move up the pitch at the same time. But we still found 60 depth was more than enough. We ended up dominating most of the games with 60, 62, 63% of the ball, 92, 93% pass accuracy. So the depth was really perfect for us. But if you're someone who struggles a little bit, you can lower this and that will be no problem whatsoever. Again, in the build-up play, we chose balanced. And again, we don't really find at the moment in the current iteration of FIFA that any of the other ways are super effective. But especially in this formation, you really don't want to have players out of position too often, because you don't have that fullback. And because a lot of people have elite level attackers, you really don't want to give away space that unnecessarily. So build-up play, we just chose balance. But we chose direct passing for the chance creation. Now, this does make you a little bit more open, which can, again, be a little bit of an issue, especially in transition, because certain attacking players make really good runs in behind. But if you don't play the pass and if you don't find the man, you are left a little bit exposed in the midfield area. So in that transition, you'd be running back a lot. So it's really important that when you're defending, you are using your midfielders to defend and not yanking out your centre-backs. Because if you start yanking one of those three centre-backs out, it's game over. So you really got to use your midfielders, your wide midfielders. You've got to be controlling those guys and bringing those guys back to defend. And that is when you're going to have a lot more success defending in FIFA, but especially in this formation. But the direct passing makes it's so fun offensively. It's definitely one of the most fun formations we've had attacking with this formation. Offensive width, we've gone for 70. This is really important when you're looking to use width. And like we said at the start, we're really looking to utilize width in this formation, especially with those left and right mids. They're really important. They don't necessarily score a lot of goals, but they create a lot of havoc, because your opponent has to come out to press the man. You know, let's say I have the ball on the left-hand side with Sane. He's got to bring out a fullback. He's got to bring out a midfielder to come and press me. That then leaves a space inside for me to pass the ball inside, and now my midfielder's got space to run into, or I go out wide and I can run down the line. So it gives you that option, and it makes it really hard for your opponent to defend. They have to either come and press you or back off. Either way, you're in a good positive situation. One thing to note is important to not go too wide with your width, because then you open up your midfield. You open up too many spaces, and then that's when you can get like easy through balls through your centre backs, because there's massive spaces in between your players. So it's important to not go too wide. And then players in the box, we decided for 5. Our instructions really are going to take care of who we want going into the box and when. And corners, we've got on 3. We have a couple of corner kick routines, so we sometimes need players in the box. If you're someone who's really concerned about the counter attacks, we definitely recommend pushing this down to 1. Now, before we continue, if you want us to make more videos like this, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you comment below right now with your questions and thoughts on what other formation videos you want us to cover going forwards. So let's jump back into it and check out the instructions for the 3-4-1-2. So starting off with the goalkeeper, as always with all of our goalkeepers, we've got comes to crosses and sweeper keeper. It's really important to have a good goalkeeper in this formation. And this is one of those formations that you really have got to be good at controlling your goalkeeper with. Because you have less defenders, you've got to be good at sort of controlling your keeper, maybe moving your keeper, bringing him out to sort of sweep up anything that comes in behind, really using your goalkeeper. Now, we're going to do a video very soon on how to make your goalkeeper unbeatable, because we've got a few tips that we really want to share with you. In terms of the centre-backs, of course, they all want to be on stay back while attacking. What you could also do with your centre-backs as well is put them onto all conservative interceptions. This just ensures that the AI is not going to like bring them out and do that silly lunge that sometimes they do, where sometimes they lunge into a tackle for you on your behalf. So because you don't have the fullbacks, you really can't afford your centre-backs to do that. You're not so bothered about them intercepting passes. So we'd recommend going conservative interceptions on them as well in this formation. In terms of the 2 central midfielders, we've got Llorente and Valverde. We want them on balanced attack, stay on edge of the box, and then cover centre. Cover centre, obviously, want to keep that middle of the pitch really compact. The balanced attack, so they get forwards and support. But you could also, again, if you're someone who's a little bit more concerned, if you're maybe playing with this formation and having a bit of trouble defensively, you could put at least one of these guys to stay back while attacking. We wouldn't recommend both, because then it makes the team very defensive. It's really important that you don't go too defensive with this formation. It is an offensive formation. You're trying to play attacking, you're trying to play on the front foot, but if you are struggling, you can put one back. And to stay on edge of the box, we don't need these guys getting in. We want these guys staying out just to be able to defend any counterattacks that might arise, especially whilst the wing backs are getting back in position. And now moving on to those wing backs, we've got Sane and we've got Dembele. We want them on comeback on defense. We've already alluded to why we want them to drop in, and it creates that back 5 when we're defending, and it makes you tough to break down. So that's really important. Get into the box. We want these wing backs to get into the box. So when one's on the ball, we want the other one to drift in there. We want the centre midfielders to be the one that stay out. So it's really important that those guys get in at the back post for any crosses, cutbacks, whatever you might cook up in your attack. Getting behind, of course, you need quick players in this position. You want to be able to utilize speed. A lot of the time when the fullbacks, opponent's fullbacks come and press you, you've got plenty of space in behind to play plenty of through balls, so it's important to do that. And balance width as well, because we don't need them to cut inside so much. We do want them to kind of do a little bit of both. So sometimes they come in, sometimes they stay out. So it's really important that they have balanced width, because you want them to get involved in the build-up play as well. In terms of the central cam, it is Goretzka. We've got him just on get into the box, nothing else, nothing fancy. We just need him getting in there, being that extra body to be able to score goals, to be able to get assists, links up with the likes of Sane and Dembele when those guys come in. But his main goal is to just score and assist, nothing more, nothing less. And then moving on to the 2 strikers, again, both these guys can be on stay central most importantly, and getting behind. The getting behind lines up with the direct passing that we use, but we want them on stay central, because the wingers, Sane and Dembele, the left and right mids, they're providing the width. You don't need these guys to drift wide. You need these guys to just stay in the 18-yard box, in between the goalposts, ready, in position for the cutbacks that you will inevitably create. And that's important when you're attacking in this formation. Utilize that width. So those guys in the middle are going to just be there for cutbacks. That's your main way you're going to score with this formation, through using the wingers and then cutting it back to your strikers. That's the best way to play with this formation. So that is it for the 3-4-1-2. We love this formation. It is fantastic. In our opinion, this is the best 3-back formation. We just think this is the best one. We know a lot of people like 3-5-2. We just prefer this one. We prefer the centre mids ahead of the CDMs. But this is one of the best formations in the game, in our opinion. And it's just fun. It's just a bit different. And it's something that we recommend you try out. So as we said earlier in the video, if you want us to continue to make more detailed formation videos like this one, then we do need your support. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, And make sure you turn on that notifications bell as well. If you want us to ask any questions on FIFA 23, make sure you join our Discord too. We are more than happy to answer any of your questions on anything FIFA related. The links to everything are in the description below. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.